Alright, so today we're going to look at a November of '65 Schwinn Stingray standard model. So this came without the fenders or the white walls. This one has the 2-speed Bendix overdrive hub, out in the hub with the 3 blue stripes on it. We're going to show the working condition of that back wheel, talk about some of the parts and flaws and features of this bike. So this is an LA serial number, which is November of '65. Some of the date codes on these parts. These forks have a date code of 11/5, November of '65. The crank is a 9/65, September of '65. The back wheel, which this wheel had the yellow oval slick stamped on the tire, but it's kind of faded. You can't see much of it, but you can tell that's what was right there. This is a USA Schwinn Stingray slick. It's got a date code of October of '65. This front tire is a Schwinn Westland USA tire. And so we'll start out, we'll take a look at this front tire. Everything's working good, spinning. This front hub had the Schwinn scripted on it. These brakes were the nice brakes that had Schwinn approved, scripted large on the front of the brakes. You'll see all that in the photos. We'll take a look at those brakes. So everything's working good on this front end. And on these early models, on this '65 Stingray, so this was the non-Chicago head badge. So this head badge is pretty worn, but you can tell that this was a non-Chicago head badge, and it had the silver R trademarks. You know that one's not a reproduction head badge. You see that, the black R, sometimes those are questionable whether they're reproductions or not, but reproduction wouldn't be in that original condition like that. Got the wide handlebars on it from these early models. This handlebar's got a nice Schwinn script on it. You'll see photos of that at the end of the video. And a couple other features on these early model Stingrays. So we got the Person USA high loop sissy bar. That was correct style for the '65. It's got the Q bolts on it. Also on this '65, on the seat post clamp, that's going to be an AS seat post clamp and not just the S. And so we'll take a look at this. You see the front wheel is working great. We'll take a look at this back wheel. So this is a 2-speed with the blue band. So this has an overdrive gear in it, which is going to be, well, one turn, when you're in overdrive, one turn of the sprocket is going to result in a turn and a half of the wheel. So you're getting 1.5 rotations of the wheel for every time the back sprocket goes around. And we'll show a demonstration video with that connected to this. But all that is in good working order. And this is going to be different than your red band and your yellow band. Those had a 1 to point, I think 6-7 ratio. So that was more of like climbing a hill. But this is more of like an overdrive, or like they consider this like a long distance trip. If you're gonna be riding the bike for a while. So you just rotate it back, and then it goes into the easier gear. And then go, and then you be back in the overdrive gear. So, and all that's working good. Everything's tuned up right. Wheel's working really good. We'll stop at one time. Which this was a nice feature on these early models, because the sprocket was so small on these early model Stingrays. If you did want to ride it with that overdrive, would give it the same as a larger sprocket. You could actually go faster and not reach that top end speed so easy as you would with one with just a single speed back wheel with that small front sprocket. Now this has got real nice paint. Of course, it's got its typical flaws. Someone's always hitting these with a wrench trying to adjust the seat. You can kind of see the red primer and some of the bare metal there. But the overall paint on this bike for '65 really looks good. We redid the chain guard on it. So that's a new water transfer on the chain guard. And we redid the darts on the forks. Now the top tube and the quality seal are original scripts on that Stingray. Cleaned the whole bike up, wet sanded a couple small spots, smoothed them out, knocked all the rust off. It's kind of what we did here. We got that nice smooth finish, and then the whole bike was cleared over to so you won't have to worry about wiping these, if you're cleaning it, wiping these original decals off. Now the seat, this on a 65, it should have been the smoothie seat. So this is a Stingray seat, metal pan, everything's correct for a Stingray seat, but this seat would have been on a I think 67 or 68 model Stingray. So this is not the correct year seat on the bike, but it is a Schwinn Stingray seat. It's got a few little nicks in it, but overall it's in pretty good shape. You can probably see right there, a little dry spot on the pan. And but overall, it's got the correct pedals on the seat, on the bike. So it's a real nice bike. We're gonna take it down and take it for a ride, try to show, and we'll have an additional video just featured on the wheel so you can see that 2-speed's working. And wish you luck and thank you for the interest. And we'll take it down, take it for a ride. All right, so we got the bike down out the rack. We're gonna take it for a short ride. Before we do, we'll talk about a couple of the flaws that we talked about inside. You can take a closer look at them now that it's down. A couple little marks on this seat. It's a good seat, but it's got a couple of flaws in it. And the sissy bar right on the edge where it's hit the concrete before. And of course, handlebars always have the same spot. And you know, the tires are showing their age. It's, you know, typical of original tires. So I'm gonna try to ride it in a small circle and show the way that back wheel's working. It's kind of hard for you to see sometimes without it being a derailleur or a shifter with these 2-speed internal hubs. So we're gonna add an extra part on this video. Hopefully all that helps and makes you feel like you're here and as close as you can get to putting your hands on the bike before bidding on it. All right, so here we go. All right, so it's in the overdrive speed right now. Just a little rotate back, it goes into the regular speed. And all you have to do is just kind of rotate it and then back to the overdrive. So everything's working good. We'll take it down and bring it back and bring it to a stop. That's it, and appreciate the interest and good luck on your bidding. All right, so we're going to take a closer look. We're going to explain and show how this Bendix automatic overdrive 2-speed internal hub works. So this hub has 2 speeds in it, and the first speed is a 1-to-1 ratio, just like a normal bike would be. And so what that means is every time the sprocket goes around one time, the wheel should go around one time. And then we're gonna shift it into the overdrive gear, and what that's gonna show is every time the sprocket goes around one time, the wheel is gonna go around 1.5 times. So this is a 1 to 1.5 ratio. That's the blue band automatic overdrive. Now that's gonna be different from the red and the yellow 2-speed bands. Those had an easier gear. It would be like 1 rotation of the sprocket, and it would only be half a turn of the wheel in the extra gear. All right, so we put tape to indicate the marks so you can see the rotation easier. So this is the 1-to-1 ratio normal gear. All right, as you see, we had 1 complete rotation of the sprocket, 1 complete rotation of the wheel. So then to go into the extra gear, you would go back as if you were going to hit the brakes, and you come back, and this would put you into the overdrive gear. So now we're going to see, we're going to have 1 rotation of the sprocket, and the wheel went around 1.5 times. This here's our mark back here after 1 rotation of the sprocket. So that's how your 2-speed automatic overdrive Bendix wheel works. Thank you.